within 1 minute I'm starting. Online students.
Sir. Sir.
Yes, yes. Please. Huh? Five. No, only last two words. Only last two words.
Sir. Sir.
Okay. Let's start.
Sir.
Yes, yes. Dipankar.
सर एक डाउट है वो असाइनमेंट नंबर 2 में सर उसका जो लास्ट क्वेश्चन है ना कि इम्प्लीमेंट बोथ द प्रायोरिटी एंड राउंड रॉबिन सर तो राउंड रॉबिन में तो प्रायोरिटी नहीं होता है तो हम लोग क्या उसको दो टू 1 और 2 क्यूज डालेंगे और
आपको
रेडी क्यू
specifically you have to add one particular queue where all the processes those who have arrived currently they have their priority and from among those priority processes you have to choose the first one. Suppose a process P1 is currently executing and during his quantum time another 3 processes has joined. Even if they are coming in a FCFS manner, but your execution among these 3 processes has to be done based on the priority. Getting my point what I'm saying?
यस सर
That you have to do.
मतलब दो दो क्यू बना सकते हैं दो तीन
क्यों नहीं बना पाओगे? Yes, बना पाओगे.
जिसमें सर ये एक एक पर्टिकुलर प्रायोरिटी में उन सबको डाल देंगे कैटेगराइज कर देंगे
But
और
have you
उससे
gone
क्या
through this
निकालेंगे
priority one? I have sent the link to
यस
that.
सर
Okay. You separately make one priority one, check first, and you separately make a FCFS one.
ओके यस सर
FCFS one. Once you make the FCFS one, then your round robin says that FCFS with preemption. Are you getting my point? Then you can apply that.
ओके सर
Okay. Yes. So we'll start with today's class with memory management. I've not. I've opened. No? I said it. Why it is not coming? Huh? Lag कर रहा है ना? Oh, that's right. Otherwise, I don't have an issue here. Why this is coming fourth one? Huh? लैपटॉप पे आ रहा है मेरा आ रहा है क्या करेंगे बोलिए शेयरिंग स्टॉप करूंगा पहले Oh, able. This is not. This is it mine? Yes, it's mine. अभी आया ये बोला but this screen is not coming. Why? Full screen share किया. हाँ बोलिए क्या थोड़ा हेल्प कीजिए तुरंत टाइम 5 मिनट हो गया. No, this is this I know. This is I think this one. फिर से स्टॉप कर दे. जूम भी देखिए डिटेक्ट. हाँ जूम को बंद भी नहीं कर पा रहा. This setting. No, first I want to stop the zoom. This is audible. Okay. Oh, 1 minute. 1 minute. If it is not, then I'll do it. I'll just restart once. This is setting. Desktop 1. Yeah. This. And mouse. Where is this? Where is this? Where is- Oh, nice. I hope online students are you able to see this page?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So we'll start with the yes. The memory management. So what is basically the memory management role is, if you can go through the previous system, first you have to create a executable file, create an executable file, then you give this executable file to the memory. Yes, you have to load it. Once the program gets loaded, then it is just to be fetched by your CPU to execute. three steps. We have to prepare a executable file like a.out. Then the moment you write ./a.out, then that will be load this program, this a.out program into the memory. Once this few lines gets loaded, then the next work comes. The CPU has to be fetch each one by one, like fetch, decode, Koa mein hum log padhe hain. Then it will execute it. Then what is the role of this memory management? The role of the memory management at this stage means how you can fetch this program from the hard disks or somewhere and where to keep it. If where to keep it, that decision will be done, then our job is over. Then what is the goal? The specific goal of the memory management is how efficiently the memory can be distributed. Memory can be distributed, little theory initially, among the processes. Why it is necessary? This is necessary because my RAM, here the memory means it is considered as a RAM. My RAM has a certain size. Let's take 2 GB. But when I'm running this Ubuntu, currently the Ubuntu has thousands of files, and all the files will be managed with this 2 GB. Even if I upgraded my RAM to 2 to 10 GB, then also running. If I'm degrading from 2 GB to 1 GB, still this operating systems, all 1000 programmers are running. Means whatever the memory required for each program to run, that may not be available in the RAM. Why? We have studied for every program in 32-bit needs a 4 GB of RAM. But do you have a 4 GB? I don't have a 4 GB also. I have maximum 2 GB. But within this 2 GB, all these thousands programs are able to run. And who is managing? My operating system's role is to take part of each program, kept it inside the memory, whichever is currently needed by that program. Suppose the program may have thousands of lines. Currently, a program needs only first 2 lines to be executed. The third program needs 7th and 9th line has to be executed. Whatever the lines currently executed by a particular process, those lines only you fetch it to the memory so that it will be executed. So that's why he is saying efficiently allocate the memory. How efficiently the memory can be distributed or allocated among these processes. That is the goal. Then what is the functionality? What function he has to do it to achieve this? The first, the functionality, keep track of the free spaces. This is the most important one. Keep track of a free space. Why? Because out of 2 GB memory, 1.5 GB may be occupied by somebody. Currently, we have only 0.5. And this 0.5 has to be distributed among n processes or new processes. That is first. Second, allocate the memory to the processes. Allocate the memory to the processes whenever they require. Whenever they need it. Means what? You don't give this memory at the very beginning because we don't have a sufficient memory. I have a limited memory. So whenever a process needs, I need to execute 2 lines. If 2 lines execution requires a 2 GB of a memory or 1 MB of a memory, that time my operating system allocate from where that the operating system has to be known. Because I have some free spaces. Among the free spaces, few spaces has to be currently allocated to this. What is that space and how much space he has to give it? That is the second part. Third most important part, which we usually reject, that is protection of one process memory. Protect the memory of one process. Memory of one process from another. Yes, what does it mean? He's saying, I'll give you a small hint about what is this protection. Suppose I am running a .c program and there is a b.c program. When this program will be stored inside the memory and he has a variable called as a equal to 2 and he has a variable called as a equal to 3. and suppose this A equal to store here, and this A equal to 3 has to be stored here. Can ever it will be mismatch that this program is using this memory and this program is using this memory? Never. It will never happen. Even if I am declaring a int A of 5, the moment I am going to write A of 5 equal to 7, he is saying segmentation fault, because I have the memory from 0 to 4. The rest part will be maybe utilized by somebody. If somebody is utilizing the rest of the part, that part cannot be accessible to me. So who is providing this protection? The OS. So these are the basic 3 functionality the OS is providing the memory management. पहला क्या हुआ? Free space management. Second क्या हुआ? Whenever a process demands any memory, how to give it? Third क्या हुआ? Among the n number of processes, never you can find a conflict between the memories. मतलब मुझे अगर एक घर allocate हुआ है, कभी भी कोई अगर और आदमी इस घर में घुस नहीं पाएगा. Yes, many scenarios, and very interesting scenario when you are doing the C programming. Suppose I am writing int A, you can file what is the meaning of this protection. Int A5, I have written. Sometimes I'll write A of 6 is equal to 7. It will immediately take. It will immediately take. And there is no error. And if you can find, sometimes I'm writing char A of 3 is equal to A, B, C, D, E. Is it a correct statement or wrong statement?
Wrong statement.
Wrong.
Some compiler will take it. What it does? He will allocate 3 bytes. He will keep A, B, C, but D will be kept here. But this D is not guaranteed to you. Means when you display this printf, this percentage S with this A, it may give ABC, it may give a garbage after this ABC, or it may give you ABC, DE. ABC will be guaranteed display, but D may display, may not. When it will display, when it is not display, since my array says that it is a contiguous memory, if this memory is not currently used by anybody, my D and E will be kept temporarily. But after that, if I am creating any variable called as int P, if that P will be now currently allocated here, then my D has no value. It is going to be changed. Means currently आपके घर के side पे कोई जगह था, nobody was currently using, so उस time पे आप जाके खेल पाओगे. But the moment somebody has started the construction, can you play there? No. But before that, that is not your house. Still you are able to play there because that was empty currently. In the same scenario here, I have allocated 3 bytes memory, but I am keeping a 6 byte A, B, C, D, E null character. 6 byte I am keeping, but he is keeping it because this space is not used by anybody at this moment. But later, if somebody is using this memory, guaranteed this D will be deleted and it is not for you. And also, if you can access then after, what is my A of 4? It will not say you only normal thing. It will directly show you segmentation fault. Means what? Now you are not eligible to touch that area also. Forget about what you want to keep. You cannot touch that area because that area is allocated to somebody. But previously, why you are touching? That is a free space. Nobody has done this, like a government space. Now somebody has purchased, you cannot do it. Understood? So that is called as a protection. One processor's memory, how it is protected from the another processor's memory. Understood? So these are the goals. So to achieve this, yes.
सर इसमें तो वो एरर देगा ना क्योंकि ABCD है ना, और हम लोग परसेंटेज S के हैं तो वो नल नहीं होगा तब तक वो प्रिंट करते जाएगा.
सपोज सोच लीजिए कि इस मेमोरी में यहाँ कुछ गार्बेज है X, यहाँ गार्बेज Y, यहाँ /0 था, तो आपको क्या प्रिंट करेगा? ABCDXY. हाँ, करेक्ट. Okay, fine. So now what you study? I need a executable program. The executable program has to be loaded into the memory, and from this memory it has to be fetched and executed. I am just repeating the things. Then what is the goal? Out of all the memory given to me, how all the processes can be utilized the memory at a time. That is the goal. To achieve this goal, what functionality he has to do it? Always he has to be think about where the free space are there, so that When somebody will be asked me a memory, I have to give some memory from that free space. Third thing, when multiple processes at a time running, OS responsibility is that he has to be some restriction put from one process's memory to another process. So what is the need now? How to create this executable file. Then you will think how you can load to the memory. So what is the way to create the executable file? So creation of executable. खाली करने का काम मतलब क्या है? आप कीप ट्रैक ऑफ द फ्री स्पेस. आप अगर गवर्नमेंट ने बोला जो अभी फ्री स्पेस जितना है यहाँ होल भुवनेश्वर में फाइंड आउट करो, वो क्या करेंगे? What he has to do? The persons, those who don't purchase the land but they are staying temporarily, he has to be remove them out. Automatically खाली करता है. Yes or no? So keep track of free space मतलब वो खाली ही करता है उस टाइम पे. So creation of executable file.
Sir,
very important this one.
सर एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल तो वो लिंक कट करेगा ना, मतलब दो फाइल लिंक होने के बाद जो
वो करेंगे वही पढ़ेंगे कैसे हम लोग a dot out क्रिएट करेंगे. That is the question here.
Okay.
How you can create a dot out and what this a dot out, how the a dot out is created. The creation of the executable file are of two types. One is without linking. Another one is with linking. If you have remember the C program easily, you do this 3 steps process to run a program. First you write a.c, if you have remember, then you compile it. After compilation, you are getting a.o. After you create a.o, then you have to link it. Then you are
डॉट एस होता था ना.
yes.
सर डॉट एस होता ना, वो असेंबलर तो डॉट ओ कर देता.
ओ छोड़ दीजिए, वो अंदर और ज्यादा नहीं जाना. So .c से object file create. Object file has to be linked. It will be become a dot out, and this a dot out is now given to the CPU to execute. सबको ये याद है कि नहीं? कैसे कर रहे थे हम लोग? ये कर रहे थे gcc minus c a dot c. It will produce a dot o. Then we are writing gcc, then minus o p, then a dot o. What it does? He is creating an executable file name called as a p. But if you directly write gcc a.c, now he is doing 2 steps at a time and creating an executable file a.out. समझ में आ रहा है? When you are writing only gcc a.c, he will do 2 steps: compiling, linking, generate a.out. But if you want to explicitly do compiling, linking separately, first you write like this: C stands for compiling. It will automatically generate a.o. Once you get this a.o, write gcc, take the a.o, write minus op, means he is creating a new file, executable file name called as a p. Once you get this p, you are writing dot p. Then what you are doing? First you make a compilation, create an object code, and object code has to be linked. Then what is this without linking here comes into picture? Just I have written a small program. Let's take int men, and inside this men I have written a int a equal to 2 and a plus plus. Do you need it? Requires any header file? Please participate. Do you need need any header file?
No, sir. No.
Why not? Because to
Printf,
compute
no
this
function.
equal to 2 and a plus plus, no extra things needed. Everything has to be automatically done by my CPU. CPU knows how to assign 2 to a, and a plus plus some add code or inc kind of opcode will be there which will do it. I don't require any external files which is necessary here. But the moment I write a printf statement, I need a external linking file or the library file. Means what? If I'm writing this kind of code, then it is a without linking. I don't require any linking. But if I'm using any inbuilt function which is not defined by me, it is defined by earlier somebody, then corresponding library you have to load it or not. आप बोलते हो ना ये library miss हो गया इसलिए नहीं चल रहा है. Windows में भी this DLL files are missing. That's right. Means that in that case the with linking are necessary. Okay, understood? Without linking क्या है? With linking क्या है? Now come to the with linking. Without linking is very simple. No involvement, nothing. Then with linking are of 2 types. One is called as static linking, and another one is called as a dynamic. Means in this case, you have to create something called as a static library. And here you have to create a dynamic library, or sometimes called as a shared library. Yes. So what is the meaning of static linking and dynamic linking? अभी समझ में आ गया लिंकिंग क्यों चाहिए? अभी चाहिए कि स्टैटिक लिंकिंग क्या है, डायनामिक. Suppose there is my a.c, there is my b.c, there is two programs. b.c has a f1 function and a.c has a main function. क्या है? This has a main function and this is calling f1, and this f1 function is defined here. Yes, and this f1 function has a printf. समझ में सबको आ गया? How many functions you are using? 3 functions. Printf, f1, main. Main is my user defined, f1 is my user defined, printf my predefined. Yes. Now what you do? How to run this program? You can say, sir, you compile this by gcc -c a.c. Then it will generate a.o. Again, you compile these things. What to do? gcc -c b.c. It will create a b.o. Once you do these things, now my b.o is created. How you are linking it? You are writing somehow gcc -o p a.o space b.o. So what you will do? He will take this object code, combine it, and create a new executable file called as p. So that when you type now ./p, it is going to be run. When it is necessary, suppose you are company, you all 20 people are working in a company in a single project. Can your manager give you one project to one fellow, or distribute the work among everybody? Distribute the work. Suppose somebody is writing a function for f1, somebody is writing a function for f2, then what will happen? Everybody has their independent function, and manager's work is to combine it and join with a main. So manager may write a main function where f1, f2, f3, f4 something is called. Then what you have to do? All the files has to be compiled, combined together, and create a single executable file or not. Then what is the role of this printf? I created a.o, I created b.o. Then where is this printf comes? Once you bring this a.o and b.o, along with this, I also include a static library. Yes, static library. Yes, after making a static library, then I am generating a code called as P. Then what are the steps? First step, what you did? You compile it. समझ में आ रहा है? Then what you did it? You link it. How many files are linking? a.o, b.o, and one static library. What is the static library? पता नहीं है. Suppose सोच लीजिए printf is a function and there is a scanf is a function. Yes, the printf is a dynamic library. Scanf is a static library. Till now, I have not told what is static library, what is dynamic library. But what it does, while you are combining, my static library gets included in P. Okay. So P क्या है? Executable file. How to run this? Very nice. The moment you write the ./p, what he has to do? Load it. Into whom? To the memory. Yes, from the memory, then it will fetch and execute it. Not. When it is executed by the CPU, when it is loaded into the memory and executed by the CPU, that time your dynamic library will be. पूरा नहीं बताया डायनामिक लाइब्रेरी. सो और एक बार देख लीजिए क्या क्या होता है. पहले कंपाइल हुआ, जनरेट हुआ मेरा खुद का ऑब्जेक्ट कोड. दिस ऑब्जेक्ट कोड एंड दिस स्टैटिक लाइब्रेरी विल बी कंबाइंड एंड क्रिएट ए एक्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल. बट दिस एक्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल डज नॉट कंटेन printf. But how the printf gets verified, whether it is correct or not? The printf is only verified by your header file. That he has verified. Only he has verified there is a printf function which can take different kinds of parameters. He does not know how it works. But my P knows how the scanf works. Why? The scanf belongs to the static library, and that static library is always included inside the P. And what my library basically gives? my library basically keeps the content of my predefined function. मतलब क्या है, scanf बोल के एक function होगा, वो कैसे लिखा होगा, everything present inside the static library, and that is included. Means what? I have a f1, I have a main, I have a scanf, but till now I don't have a printf. Then who knows the printf? Dynamic library. And when the dynamic library will be loaded? When you are actually running the program. Means the content of the printf is not currently present inside your executable file. So your printf's content is present in library, and whenever you run it, CPU needs printf. That time printf वो सोचेगा कहाँ है printf, कहाँ है scanf, वो बोलेगा scanf p के अंदर है, no problem. कहाँ है printf नहीं है. Then what to do? That time he will be search in the operating system where the dynamic libraries are available, and if in that dynamic library the printf is present, then it will fetch and execute it. Now why there is a two kinds of library? One library is sufficient, anyhow it has to be included. What's the benefit of this? So let's take the same example for printf. If it is a dynamic, how it works? If it is a static, how it works? Okay, suppose आज आप प्रोग्राम बनाए, सब ऑनलाइन प्लीज सुन लीजिए. आज आप प्रोग्राम बनाए, printf एक लिखे, एंड printf इज अ स्टैटिक लाइब्रेरी, ठीक है ना. आप कंपाइल कर दिए, a डॉट आउट क्रिएट कर दीजिए, फिर टाइम हो गया, 2 बज गया, टीचर ने बोला भाग जाओ, आप चले गए. रात को क्या हुआ है, द मशीन हैज अपडेटेड द जीसीसी. समझ पा रहे हो? प्रोग्राम लिखे a डॉट सी के अंदर printf था, आप कंपाइल किए, a डॉट आउट भी जनरेट किए, लेकिन रन नहीं कर पाए. a डॉट आउट बस जनरेट हो गया. डू यू थिंक दैट द a डॉट आउट विल बी डिलीटेड ऑटोमेटिकली? नो, it will be stored in the hard disk only. When you put a ls hard disk, a dot out is present. If a dot out is present, suppose रात को gcc library update हो गया, the gcc library has updated, automatic updated होता है ना machine में. Suppose machine बंद नहीं हुआ, automatically updated. And in the gcc library, the printf has come with a colorful style. Colorful style मतलब आप printf के अंदर जो भी लिखोगे वो red color, blue color में आएगा, display करेगा. Yes, करेगा. वो अपडेट हो गया. नेक्स्ट डे यू कम, स्टार्ट योर मशीन तो ऑन है, जस्ट स्विच ऑन किए मॉनिटर को एंड टाइप डॉट स्लैश a डॉट आउट. टेल मी whether you will give a color abcd in the output or the old one?
Old one.
What is the reason? Because the static library says that you have already included the code inside that. क्योंकि printf का जो कोड था आप a डॉट आउट में इंक्लूड कर दिए हो, तो जब नेक्स्ट टाइम रन करोगे, कैन यूर सीपीयू सर्च फॉर आउटसाइड printf? नो, द printf इज ऑलरेडी देयर, मींस ओल्ड वन. समझ पाए? बट तो क्या फायदा हुआ? व्हाट इज द बेनिफिट देन? द बेनिफिट इज इवन इफ द लाइब्रेरी इज नेक्स्ट टाइम डिलीटेड, सपोज रात को कोई आके printf लाइब्रेरी को डिलीट कर दिया, नेक्स्ट डे आके when you want to run this a dot out, can you able to run your program or not? करो. क्यों? Already your printf's code has included, so you can run it. Think in a different way. अगर वो डायनामिक लाइब्रेरी है, डायनामिक लाइब्रेरी क्या बोलता है? जब चाहिए उस टाइम पे ही वो इंक्लूड होगा. Then what will happen? आज कंपाइल किए, एग्जीक्यूटिव फाइल क्रिएट कर दिए, कैन योर printf inside this? No. नेक्स्ट दिन आए, रात को printf का स्टाइल चेंज हो गया है, रेड कलर ब्लू कलर आ गया है. When next day when you come and start your a dot out, can it will be display your old color abcd or new color? New color. The reason is that when you run this a dot out now, the a dot out does not have a printf. Your operating system search for a dynamic library printf. So that dynamic library has already changed. रात को तो change हो गया है. वो printf जो पुराना printf replace होके the new printf has come. Then which one will be gone? He has to be fetch the new printf and gets executed. So yes. Why? No. I have just to distinguish printf scanf. I have told one को आप सोचिए कि static है, one को सोचिए कि dynamic है. Are you getting my point? I have not told that both will be static or dynamic. Just to distinguish that If it is a static, where it will be included? If it is a dynamic, where it will. Can you tell me what is the disadvantage of static library?
सर कोड साइज बढ़ जाएगा.
एक कोड साइज बढ़ जाएगा. Your executable code file will be increased or not? If the whole printf code will be included as a static library, then your executable file size will be increased. What is the other disadvantage?
सर और एक है कि अगर बहुत सारा कंप्यूटर पे काम कर सकता है.
Updated, very nice. If your library even if it gets updated, still you cannot get a feature. कब फिर मिलेगा? नेक्स्ट दिन आके फिर से कंपाइल करके फिर से लिंक कीजिए, देन द न्यू अपडेट विल कम. ओके, डायनामिक का बोलिए क्या रॉन्ग है?
सर मिसिंग हो गया तो.
If the library gets miss, even if your executable file is there, still you cannot run it. Like बोलते हैं ना, DLL file missing. What does it mean? जो printf जो एक एग्जांपल, जो printf जो DLL फाइल में था वो कोई डिलीट कर दिया है, तो क्या करते हैं? नेट से corresponding DLL फाइल डाउनलोड करके फिर डाल देते हैं, वो फेच कर देता है. So you don't have to. So that is the difference between static and dynamic. समझ में आ गया? हैं? So what is a static?
Sir,
as बोलिए.
sir, dynamic library is that concept like that of interrupt vector table?
No, it is not like interrupt vector table. Interrupt vector table, you can say that already it is predefined. Suppose there is a 10 interrupts. Already in your interrupt vector table, 10 such number will be written. 1 for keyboard interrupt, 2 for mouse interrupt, 3 for some interrupt. Already it is predefined. Okay, but here it is saying already your program is present, but it is not included inside your executable file. So why it is called as a SAD? Very nice. Why it is called as a SAD? Then you can understand why it is called as a SAD library. यहाँ पर लिखा हूँ, मैं इसको बोल रहा हूँ कि SAD library. क्यों
Sir,
बोलता हूँ?
all executable file has access to it.
सोच लीजिए, अगर 5 C program is currently running and a printf is static library, then what will happen? The same printf code will be included in all executable file or not? But think about, there is a printf is a dynamic library, then what will happen? Inside your memory, एक ही जगह पर DLL फाइल होगा printf का, and all A.C, B.C, C.C, जो फाइल है, the same thing they have to fetch it up. Then
इनहेरिटेंस होना था.
Everybody is using. ऐसा ना, आप बोलोगे सर कंफ्यूजन कुछ नहीं होगा. सर एक ही printf है, if he is partially executing तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा.
एक टाइम पे एक ही यूज करेगा.
एक कॉपी बना लेगा.
नहीं, कॉपी तो स्टैटिक जैसा हो गया.
फिर एक टाइम पे एक ही यूज करेगा.
एक ही यूज, एक टाइम पे एक ही यूज करेगा, दो क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा?
रेड सेफ्टी और कुछ लॉक.
Sir, muted this.
When you are using this printf, no problem. When you are using this printf, this will be in the middle, context switching will be happen or not happen? कैसे पता चलेगा? You open 3 terminals. $. Can you run 3 programs at a time? है कि नहीं? यहाँ पर एक प्रोग्राम चलाऊंगा, ऐसे मैं ओपन कर दूंगा. सपोज कंट्रोल ऐसे करके 3 ऐसे प्रोग्राम मैं ओपन कर दूंगा. ऐसे एक कंट्रोल एस और here I'll run one program. Here I'll run one program. Can all the programs will be run simultaneously or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
If all the programs are using the same printf and the printf becomes a dynamic library, is there any problem comes or not? That is my question.
सर लॉक
नहीं करेगा, पढ़िए.
Yes, sir.
नहीं करेगा. क्यों नहीं करेगा? This is a code. The printf is basically the codes. He is fetching, execute this code. Suppose कोड में लिखा है कि a plus b. Yes, he has execute. But you can say, sir, after one line gets executed, he will make a context switching. तब तो problem हो जाएगा. Another process will be using the same a plus b. But what you have studied during the context switching, all the detail related to the a.c will be stored in stack.
Yes.
Context switching में क्या पढ़े थे? Current CPU state has to be loaded into the stack so that new program starts. When that program will be switched to another one, his will be stored in the stack. And पानी क्या है ना, गर्म पानी कर रहे थे हॉस्टल में, दो बंदे थे, यस 2 मिनट के लिए टाइम मिल रहा था, क्या सीखे थे? After few 2 minutes, whatever the hot water will be there, you take it and keep in your own bucket or not. So the next time when you will get a turn, that small water, whatever little hot will be there, that is again put it. So that's why there will be no issue. Even if there is a same code, that will be executed. One interesting thing. You remember fork? I am relating so that आप थोड़ा interest में होगा. Remember fork याद है?
Yes.
During the time of fork, what happens? The
The
new
states are
process
copied.
created, the address space will be different.
Yes.
कहते कि नहीं? Every processes, new processes, address space will be different. वह उस टाइम पे एक नया चीज बोला था कि the code segment, even if we are saying that it is changed, but actually one for everyone. कितना सेगमेंट है एड्रेस स्पेस में? 4. कोड, डाटा, स्टैक, हीप. डाटा खुद का सेपरेट होगा, एक का हीप स्टैक भी सेपरेट होगा. बट व्हेन यू क्रिएट ए न्यू प्रोसेस, डू यू थिंक दैट योर कोड गेट्स चेंज? द कोड विल बी सेम. इफ द कोड विल बी सेम, इज इट नेसेसरी दैट यू विल क्रिएट 3 कॉपीज ऑफ कोड? नो. एंड हाउ इज एक्सिक्यूटिंग? वी स्टडीड for every process there is a program counter register. The program counter of each individual process remembers that which line he is currently executing. First program, remember PC will be 3, means पहला program अभी 3 line पे है. Third program will be remember that PC will be 9. Third program का अभी 9th line execute हो रहा है. So by this way, do you need to copy the code? Not necessary. In the same manner, when you create a dynamic library, this. Okay, got my point? So this is called as static library and dynamic library. समझ में आ गया? अभी है 10 मिनट, थोड़ा आगे जाए. Yes, question.
सर तो ये स्टैटिक और इसमें जो कंपाइल किया था ना a.c और b.c, सर इसमें तुम लोग वो इंक्लूड भी कर सकते थे ना वो.
Oh, that include. Okay. Oh, that include is not an library. Why it is not a library? Very nice. Has include stdio.h. Is it a library? No.
Header file.
It is a normal file which is directly included. कैसे पता चलेगा? सीखे थे?
कोड देख सकता मैं कमेंट
में. How can you see the code of this header files? याद है? नहीं याद है? So you just let's take ls कुछ है test1.c. test1.c का मैं इंक्लूडेड कोड देखना चाहता हूं, तो क्या करोगे? जीसीसी माइनस कैपिटल ई देन test1.c. Okay, if you type this, see, this is my whole code. Along with this code, this header file has been
preprocessed. नहीं सर, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि a.c है.
Whatever your stdio.h लिखा होगा ना, उसके अंदर जो होगा ये सब.
नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि a.c और b.c है, तो a.c में हैश इंक्लूड और b.c किया तो उसमें सबका सब तो चला जाएगा उधर.
बिकॉज a.c के अंदर हैश इंक्लूड है, stdio.h b.c में नहीं चाहिए. If the same printf is
नहीं, वो बोल रहा है कि a.c को इंक्लूड कर देंगे b.c में.
वो भी हो पाएगा. That is another style, but this is a different style. That I got it.
तो वो लिंकिंग नहीं है ना, वो
linking. No. You are only including it. That is not a linking. For the linking static library, today you can also try how to create a static library for this kind of function. So check, there is a AR command. Today you can check in the net and you please try how to create your own static library and own dynamic library. Yes, for static library, check there is a AR command. AR stands for archive. So through this you can create a static library. Similarly, check what should be this. Otherwise I'll tell you. Yes. याद रहा क्या करोगे? होमवर्क मार्क के लिए नहीं है, बस चेक करोगे कैसे बनाओगे. हाँ पूछिए.
सर मान लीजिए कि a.c में हम लोग हैश इंक्लूड stdio.h किया है ना, और b में भी वही है. तो सर जैसे हमने इसमें किया अभी वो स्टैटिक लाइब्रेरी कंपाइल किया है सर, तो दोनों में रहेगा वो.
Oh no. I understood your question. He is saying if inside the a.c there is a hash include stdio.h, in b.c also there is a hash include stdio.h, यू प्लीज रिमेंबर, एक प्री प्रोसेसर डायरेक्टिव का अगर पढ़ोगे तो 2 डुप्लीकेट कभी भी वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता है, एक क्यों वही रखता है। यस, समटाइम्स आप लिखते हो ना, has define x5, here also you have written has define
If not defined.
x10. Then if you keep these things, then you will be confused, no, which x you also take, because both file you are combining it, then that will be 2x. If there is a 2x, which x you will get it? So that's why क्या लिखते हैं, एक if def करके लिखोगे. If it is not defined x, then you define it. आप देखोगे एक if def है, if and def है, if def and if and df. Like hash defining, hash include a preprocessor directive है ना, similarly एक देखोगे if def, if and def. If x is not defined, you include x equal to 10. If it is defined, you don't include that way. समझ में आया?
हम लोग को वो ये इंश्योर करने में सिर्फ एक ही कॉपी होना चाहिए,
एक ही कॉपी, एक ही कॉपी, ठीक है ना? Okay, so now you understood how you can create this file. Which file? The executable file. Once the executable file is created, then it is going to be loaded. Loaded means what? The memory has an addresses, and your executable file has a number of instructions, and this instruction has to be mapped to a particular address. Yes or no? Means what I'm saying, if my executable file has a 5 lines of code, assume first, second, third, fourth, I number as a 1, 2, 3, 4. But when this is going to be, suppose it is a dot out, when it is going to be RAM के पास यहाँ पर खाली है जगह, then what will happen? 1 may be loaded here, 3 may be loaded here, 4 may be loaded here, like this. At somehow it is to be done or not? Means what? The address whatever present in this a dot out has to be translated to the address of this RAM or not? कि नहीं? आपका जो एड्रेस प्रिपेयर किए थे 1 2 3 4 लिखा होगा, जब आप यहाँ आते हो he will be put in a roll number college 20051 20052, like this he is putting or not. Means what happens here? Here it is, once you prepare an executable file, this executable file address has to be translated to the address of the RAM, so that your instruction present in this a dot out has to be come to a particular address, and that is called as address translation. Address translation from executable file to memory, and this translation is basically called as a binding. Means if you have created an executable file and each line has a certain lines, and when they have a certain lines, this lines has to be mapped to a particular line of this RAM. Then how it is happening and when it is happening. These things will be done in 3 ways. One is called as a compile time binding. Second one is called as a load time binding. And third one is called as a executable time binding. Yes, those who are present here, 1 mark is done. Those who are absent, 0 mark for today's class. No question answer. Yes, exactly roll number दे दीजिए 1 mark. 30 से 1 mark हो गया. 29 is cancel. Yes, फिर 29 marks है, क्योंकि जो डर के नहीं आए गए. Yes, this is true. I'll not do anything. Next time वो आएंगे उस दिन पूछ लेंगे 1 mark के लिए. Yes. Okay. So what is a compile time binding? What is a load time binding? And what is an executable time binding? Yes. So पहले एक पढ़ लेंगे compile time binding, फिर बंद करते हैं. पहले समझ पाए what is this binding require? क्योंकि सोच लीजिए कि a dot out मेरा पेपर है, ये मेरा मेमोरी है. Yes, this is the paper and this is the memory. In this memory there are few spaces are vacant. In this paper I have written 1 2 3 4 5 6. This one maybe come to the 10. This 2 maybe come to the 5. Some translation is happening or not, and that translation is indirectly loading. Loading मतलब क्या है क्या कहां से ऑनलोड हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं ना. The lines has to be come, store it in a particular memory so that my CPU can fetch the data from that memory. उतना ही काम है कि नहीं? Yes. So that is called as a binding. मतलब एक डाटा, एक particular data which is written in the paper, that is binded to a particular address of the physical RAM. Physical RAM. RAM is physical. Your this paper is also physical, but it is currently present in the hard disk. Hard disk से एक line आया, store it the RAM. Then कैसे store होता है, कहां पर store होता है, कब store होता है? Three things: how it is stored, when it is stored, where it is stored. There are three things comes. So what is this compile time binding says that? The compile time binding says that each line present in the executable file is hard coded. Suppose it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Suppose there are 5 lines are present in this a.out, and each line is hard coded. What do you mean hard coded? The hard coded meaning is that if this is my whole memory, in this memory initially you have stored the OS. The OS will be stored from 1 to 10, and the rest will be from the 11 to 50. Assume that my total size of the RAM is 50 bytes. Then if I am creating a a.out with compile time binding, then all this hard coded means the 11 has to be stored in the 11th line only. The 12th has to be stored in the 12th line only. 13 has to be stored in the 13th line. Means you cannot change the location once the program gets loaded. मतलब क्या बोल रहा है? When a compiler prepares this file, that time he must have a knowledge that where the free spaces will be available. Correct है कि नहीं? If it is become hard coded मतलब क्या है? आप घर में से ही बता दिए हैं कि आप अगर जाओगे A15 में रहोगे, आप यहां जब आए A15 में ही रहोगे. Nobody can change it. So compile time binding को क्या पता चलना चाहिए फिर? During the compile time binding, one has to be know which memory spaces are free. Then only can do it. That is one way. Another very interesting way of this compile time binding problem. If n number of programs are currently running at a time, think. If n number of programs are currently at a time running, do you follow this compile time binding very easily? Not possible. Why? Finding the free spaces for all such processes, and all such processes may need a larger size of memory, then this is not possible. Because the first information is that how can you know which free space is available? That is a big task. So that's why what he's saying, this compile time binding is simple. Why? It is simple. I put some addresses exactly wo aadmi gaya wahan par rahega. There is no thing. But this will be problematic if it is a multi-programming system. Means if more than one program will be run at a time, then it is problematic. Then when in which case it will be satisfied? It will be satisfied in a mono-programming system. Means only one program at a time run inside the system. But one can say very interestingly, very interestingly one can say, sir, if it is a mono program, I accept it is a mono programming. Means inside the memory, excluding OS, only one program maximum store. In that case, easily you can say, sir, where my new program is going to be stored or not. Why? If I know my OS is stored in 10 bytes, then free space will be start from the 11 bytes. If one program will be stored, no issue. But the question issue comes, how many bytes are free here? 40. Then my program size should be always less than 40. Do you think that I will prepare a program always depending upon कितना size का memory है? वो मजा नहीं आएगा. कोई बोलेगा कि मेरा 40 बाइट का मेमोरी है, मतलब प्रिपेयर करो एग्जीक्यूटिव फाइल 40 बाइट से ज्यादा नहीं होगा. Do you prefer this? Never. But what I want compile time binding. It is a mono programming, but still my larger program has to be run. How? So what it does, what they are doing, they are saying, why don't you keep a small program inside the memory, and that program name is called as an overlay. And what is the overlay's work? If my program size will be bigger than the available memory, then his responsibility is to currently how many space are available, only that much part of this program will be fetched. The moment this part will be executed, then he will be removed and fetch the rest of the part once again. Who does? Not an operating system. Rather, the operating system may be provided a small program called as overlay. कुछ याद है? रेसिडेंट मॉनिटर कुछ बोल पाओगे? पढ़ के आए होंगे इंट्रोडक्शन में. क्या था रेसिडेंट मॉनिटर का काम? Batch processing में. When the two batch has to be changed, that time it has to be ideal. The CPU has to be ideal. Then the residence monitor work is to continuous automatic movement from the one process to the another process. In the same manner, here the overlays work is to, if my program size is bigger than the available memory size, then part of the program it will fetch. After execution, rest part will be fetched. Okay, that is the basic idea of this compile time binding. समझ में आया? So next class पढ़ेंगे what is a load time, execution time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 3, 13, 13 to 15.
सर लेकिन तब भी इसमें एक डिसएडवांटेज होगा ना.
हाँ हाँ. What? Since it's a monoprogramming, no question comes. If a high priority comes and you have a less memory, no memory. Oh, no memory. Oh, that time what will happen? Your existing memory space, whatever stored, that has to be moved out, and that is used by a swapping. एक swap space पढ़े हो ना? That is the work of the swap space. So what it does, आप Linux operating system अगर use करते हो, along with the partitioning, you are creating an extra swap space.
1 GB.
1 GB or 10 GB or something.
ext4.
And usually the swap space capacity जो देते हैं, वो twice of the RAM. If RAM size will be 4 GB, then swap space will be 8 GB. उसका काम क्या है? If the RAM becomes full, as per his question, if a high priority job has come, no space is currently available, then what the operating system will do? Existing program, some program has to be moved out. That is called as a swap out. पढ़े थे ना swap out? कहाँ पर यूज होता है? Scheduling में, ready में swap out होता है. याद है ना? When the memory is not sufficient, a process has come from the running to the ready state. कहाँ पर जाता है? Ready suspended. Very nice. There is a ready suspended and like okay, today this much, no more. I have one more class. That's all.
Sir, could you repeat the swap thing once again?
If next class possible. Oh, now I'm saying swap. The swap's main work is what? Suppose currently 10 programs are running in the system. They are partially using the memory, and whole memory gets filled up. And his question is that if a new program immediately comes and he has a high priority, if he has a high priority, then how this program gets executed? His question is, because sub program to already occupy kar chuke hain, existing programs. If a new programs, how it will be done? Then what is the use here? The existing program, those who are occupying the spaces, among them, one of the programs few space will be removed. वो जो ऑक्युपाई किया होगा उसको रिमूव कर देते हैं. कहां पर डालते हैं उसको? इन ए स्वैप एरिया. द स्वैप एरिया इज नथिंग बट ए टेम्पररी एरिया क्रिएटेड इनसाइड द हार्ड डिस्क. समझ पा रहे हो? वहां पे जाके रख देंगे, फिर न्यू प्रोग्राम हैज टू कम.
And sir, is it necessary कि swap का space will be twice the RAM?
No, ट्वाइस क्यों होता है? आप एक आइडिया बोल पाओगे क्यों ट्वाइस करते हैं? वो ऐसे बोल देने से क्या हम एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे? आप सोच पाओगे आपका पास एक एकड़ का लैंड है. यस, एवरीबॉडी इज ऑक्युपाइंग. आप एक बाहर एक टेम्पररी लैंड क्रिएट किए हैं. कितना होने से आपका मैनेज हो जाएगा? क्योंकि यहां से लेके वहां डालोगे, प्रीवियस वाला भी वहां खड़ा रहेगा, तो ऑलमोस्ट कितना चाहिए? 2 की नहीं?
Yes, sir.
पहले से 1 एकड़ का लैंड वहां रहेगा, और यहां पर जो 1 एकड़ का लैंड जो जो आइटम होगा उसको लेके निकालोगे, वहां डालोगे, सो दैट 2 एकड़ का लैंड वहां चाहिए कि नहीं। प्रीवियसली 1 एकड़ का आदमी थे, ये जो 1 एकड़ का आदमी वहां गए, फिर जो प्रीवियस 1 एकड़ का आदमी यहाँ आएंगे कि नहीं। सो कितना ऑलमोस्ट चाहिए, 2 एकड़ का चाहिए, तब जाके आप
Yes.
प्रॉपर्ली मैनेज कर पाओगे। दैट्स व्हाई इट इज लाइक दिस।
सर तो फिर अगर डिवाइस में 16 GB है तो 32 GB देंगे।
यूजुअली देते हैं, बट यू कैन नॉट यूज दैट मच swap space
हाँ।
always.
Sir, my swap is only 4 GB.
That's okay. You never use that much swap also. अगर लार्ज प्रोग्राम आप रन करोगे तब जाके फंस जाओगे।
ओके सर।
Okay.
Okay.
So I am ending now. Thank you very much.